All right, so we just talked to the council, or the not the council. We just talked to the Order of the Divine Dragon, and they said we were cool, so we were about to leave.
No, that's not what happened. And I'm going to tell you right now on the RPG Blender. Hello and welcome to the RPG Blender, where we give lesser played games or forgotten settings the roll the dice they deserve. I'm your host, Game Master George, thrilled to welcome you to the next chapter in our adventure. Our heroes have begun to recruit the dragon-blooded into the hunt for Pluton. But will history prevent this alliance? Find out as we explore a new land of power and ancient secrets in Exalted. Spinning Stories, Part 1. Welcome to the RPG Blender. I am your host, Game Master George, returning to the world of Exalted. And everything that Rich just said kind of happened, but not really. Don't worry about the end. That's not true. Last time. Wait, let's meet our cast first. He's messing up my order. No.
No. Okay. Let's go. Go for it. We got a lot of stuff to do. No. Let's just go.
No. Don't worry. We always have time for fun facts. All right. Let's meet our cast. We got Craig. Say hello, Craig.
Howdy, everybody. It's me, Craig. Playing Dhiram Barath. A fun fact about Dhiram Barath, which you may or may not have gained some insight on, is that Dhiram has some knowledge on certain aspects of the magical world, more so than Craig. But one of the main items of note is talk of manses. Specific locations of particular magical power or focuses of energy phenomenons in the world. And one of the reasons why Dhiram knows as much as he does is because he has a manse of his own. It hasn't become relevant for the team, but that is something that exists. If it actually comes into play, we'll find out more about it. But a little teaser for things to come.
All right. Look at that, revealing those character details. Look at that. See? You're thinking there's no more nice. Fun facts. You got it.
I got more candies that he's into, but I'll leave those for later.
All right. Let's go back to rhyming names, and we've got Greg. Say hello, Greg.
Hi, everyone. I'm Greg. I play Adramalik, also known as Sinis Nadala. Adramalik's fun fact of the day is not about cults. I'd like to rescind my comments from the previous week. Cults are bad people.
That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
I as Greg, could apologize.
Oh, that works.
Adramalik won't.
Yeah.
He won't. But because, but my fun fact of the week is going to be about Adramalik's mentor, the person who kind of changed his life for the better. I think I said before that they were the stable master. They were a slave who was the stable master. So they were a slave, but they were also in a position of power in his household. But they were also the person who introduced him to vegetarianism. And that's why he's a vegetarian, is because of this person. There you go.
Does this person have a name?
Yes. Their name is Onemaeus.
The name sounds
Onemaeus. Onemaeus. Sorry, go on, please.
No, that was a beautiful musical number. I love that.
Yes.
You can thank The Simpsons for that.
All right. Wow, moving on from that, you got a lot of pressure here now. Rich, say hello, Rich.
Hey, everybody. I'm Rich. I play Smiling Mountain, or now sometimes known as Rakim.
Never known as Rakim.
And my fun fact is that it's very hard to cast like George. I mean, you try, and it just doesn't go anywhere.
I have copious notes. And that's not true. That's not true at all. I've just recorded this all, and I listened to this for hours and hours. I know everything that's ever happened, which is also a lie. Okay, let's get your real fun fact, yeah?
Oh, man, I was hoping I could do a funny fun fact, and then just...
Can't gaslight him, can't slip past him, you can't do anything. He's bulletproof.
Can't. He's bulletproof. Let's see. Smiling Mountain actually has an enemy within his old house.
Does this enemy have a name, or are you saving that for a future fun fact?
We'll do the future fun facts for a name later.
That's smart. That's the easy yes.
But yes, it is actually the reason that he was sent to the Immaculate Order in the first place. Not that it wasn't a status symbol, but it lined up well with everyone's benefit.
Okay. All right, so last time on Exalted, our heroes, after finding this sacrificial box, which used to contain a large, elongated skull, tracked what they think is Pluton through the streets and rooftops of Nachara. They followed him back to what appears to be his manse within the city. Deep underground, a swirling black void of almost gelatinous walls and dark energy. They found themselves unable to tap into the natural essence of creation while within it, unable to regain their moats. Something which is fairly concerning, given that they were at the bottom of a very, very, very deep hole. However, while they were plotting some methods of escape, after they did some investigation, point of note, they found a map within there, which led to some seeming destinations for Pluton of the Endless Stream, where he might be hunting something. The locations circled were Gem, Randan, and Gethamane, and... oh, crap. Forgot the name of the one on the Blessed Isle. See? My memory is fallible. Very fallible.
Chanos?
Thank you. Chanos on the Blessed Isle. Of those locations, only Nachara was checked off, indicating that whatever was needed here had indeed already been accomplished. And while our heroes debated what that might mean and attempted to find whatever they might do to track him or perhaps find a way out of here, a cloud descended, upon which rode two members of the Immaculate Order. The large woman that Smiling Mountain had previously met at a bar, and the bookish individual that Dirham had previously run into while at the library. However, despite what could have potentially been a very violent meeting, they did have an amicable truce established, and they assisted them with the flying cloud of getting out of there, and then took them to meet the rest of their own group. And so our heroes made their way to the Dragon-Blooded's hideaway within the city. Adramalik, having met a kindred spirit, went away to the stables to talk about animals, horses, monkeys, and various other pleasures in life. Meanwhile, Dirham and Mountain spoke with Sinus Lanawe in depth about what they had encountered, what they saw, and what they believed would be the necessary next steps, indicating that the Dragon-Blooded should make their way to Randan, and that our own circle would head toward the city of Gem to the south. However, while Sinus Lanawe was amenable to this plan, seeing that there is likely a need to work together, there were still unanswered questions about exactly what the capabilities of this group were, for it was established that they do already have some inkling that there is something unusual with this group. Exactly how much information is known or just suspected is not yet known, but with that, she requested a more private location to meet where you could discuss things a little more openly and perhaps establish a more formal alliance. And that is where we left off. So, if you're ready, then we can make our way through the city. Yes? Oh, where are those others? We must
Probably
wait for them.
Still with your stable or
Yes.
wherever you keep animals. That'd be my guess.
Very well. She rings a little bell on the desk, and a servant comes rushing in. Please fetch Dava. I'm sure that he's in the stables with one of our guests. We must be off soon. The servant nods and rushes off to go attempt to fetch the missing party members.
And I return with Pelops Deva. What's his name?
Deva, yes.
And we are chortling and laughing and you know, sort of having a grand old time. Definitely, we may have stopped by the wine cellar after leaving the stables, and you know, the servant who dragged us along probably had a little bit of a difficulty. And we may have also unceremoniously put some wine in their hand as well. Whether or not they are drinking it or looking kind of aghast at the whole situation, I don't know. But that's because I'm too drunk to know. I don't know what's going on right now.
That was fast.
Was it they finished apparently an entire bottle of wine and are now deep in whatever else there might be. So the servant does not, in fact, drink it, but he does not react unexpectedly as he is used to this individual.
You're such a good sport, you know that. He's very good. He's looking good. You look good cheeks too. You're very nice. Yeah.
Yes, I've tried so many times to get him to cut loose and join me in one of these revelries, but he's just
a little sip. Just a little sip. It's not that bad. It's good for you.
You can try, but he won't do it.
We're gonna get going now.
Oh, where are we going?
You know, it's a surprise for us, but I'm pretty sure you've been there.
Well, I've been many places.
He really has. He's been all over creation, really. Do tell him about the time we were on the Blessed Isles. That was good.
Sinus Linawe's head is in her hands.
I just turn toward her and say, lead on.
Yes, I believe it is time for us to get going. Follow me, please. And she leads you out of the room, out of the building, and back to the streets of Nechara. Does anybody do anything in particular along the way?
I drunkenly walk into this ambush, completely unprepared to be murdered.
I activate my super sniffer, and I'm actually specifically taking in the sense of all the people around me, such as the giant lady, the dorky guy, the leader person, and this braggart and stuff. But I'm trying to get I'm trying to log all of their sense right now.
And the quiet woman.
That's who it is. The one who was like, are we fighting? And it was like, no, not yet. Calm down. Yeah, I noticed that.
Mm-hmm. All right. She leads you through the streets until eventually you begin making your way to a familiar section of the city. And she leads you to that warehouse where you had first met with the council.
Oh, neat. We were here.
Yes, you were. If this is a private enough location for the council to meet, seems reasonable for us as well.
I agree with that. And I say, looking around, running my hands on some of the heavy iron bowls. I don't know.
Not the
place. The fight place.
Not the fight place.
Oh,
the original warehouse.
I thought they were bringing us to the fight place to be like, we know about
yeah, I was about to say,
I was like, oh, whole cat's out of the bag.
We already got a battle map for here and everything. It's perfect. We can go right into the battle. It's gonna be great.
Yes, no, the place where you debated with Sinus Linawe and Sisis Nechalsi about the future of Nechara.
You're right.
She makes her way over to the door, opens it up, and proceeds inside.
I follow.
All right. Everybody follows, yes?
I also follow unblinkingly. I'm arm in arm with Pelops Deva right now. So if I get peppered with arrows, he'll probably eat a couple of them too.
You're so paranoid. You're so worried. I'm just going to jump you here.
What do you mean? These are our mortal enemies. They're taking us into a dark, abandoned house where we had a secret
secluded spot to see what we're capable of.
Yeah, the Charizard wants to go have a talk with the Bulbasaur behind the school.
Yeah. We know what's about to happen. We know the refuge. Hiram will simply take stock of the other members who have not openly entered to see if they're actively holding the flank and making sure that there's no escape route, examining their posture and their sort of mannerisms.
Okay. The woman in blue, Sisis Nechalsi, follows closely after Sinus Linawe. Tepet Tillis takes up a position next to the door as probably a guard of sorts. Pelops Deva enters with Adramalik probably soon after the other two did, unless Adramalik is delaying the procession at all.
I mean, if I delayed it, it wouldn't be intentional. It would only be on account of how much I've drunk. So no, I'm along for the ride, arm in arm. Whatever happens to me happens to him.
Meanwhile, Naman Jabnor gives you a look as if to see if you're going to enter next, and if you don't show any inclination to, we'll take the next spot in line to head in.
If Naman Jabnor is the only of their remaining party before entering into the building.
Tepet Tillis is still outside standing by the door.
Okay.
Makes sense. The human wall
Yes.
And then, Darum will simply just give a curt nod to Jabnor and follow his lead.
Okay. Leaving Mountain and Tepetilis outside.
Oh no, I went in immediately.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I would have, because I figured I was keeping pace with Lunawe and the quiet one.
Okay. Makes sense. Then after the last two enter, Tepetilis makes her way inside as well and shuts the door behind. Sinus Linawe leads you, I guess I can just say Linawe. Linawe leads you through the building, much as before, into the large opening, the large room. You can see that the sandbags are still there. They have been disturbed a little bit. It's not like it's been untouched since then. But the desks have been removed. There's some scattered garbage, detritus from whatever they might have been doing throughout the rest of it. You can see chicken droppings around from the one guy that was in line with you. But other than that, it is predominantly a large, open, and empty warehouse.
Well, that's cool of them. If they did want to fight, I appreciate them taking everyone's lives into consideration.
So, I don't think we need to be quite so formal as to stand in these opposing circles this time, yes?
No. In the last time it was more
you
of
should. Yeah, Rakeem, put the big woman. She should be on your arm, and Diram, you and Lanawe, we do the arm thing. We should link arms like this. I see David. We got it.
I tune him all the way out, and I just lean against the wall and say, last time circumstances were more argumentative. At this point, I'm hoping to more freely share information that you desire.
I should certainly hope so. If you're seeking an alliance with us or a partnership or whatever it is, that has to be built on trust. We have to know that we can trust you, and we cannot begin such a thing on lies. So, we know that you have some capabilities. We've not yet identified the specific natures of that, but we do know that you are empowered in some way. We have not heard of any of you within the annals of the Dragon-Blooded, so we assume that you are not one of us, though perhaps you are a lost egg. I could not say that for certain, of course. But I do believe that it is important to know who we will be working with here. So, would you kindly tell me who you are?
I believe that this should go both ways if we are to truly create trust. So why don't we take turns, shall we? And perhaps the group with more numbers should begin?
Very well. I see no problem with that. Who would you like to know about first?
Well, you've started the conversation. Why don't you set the tone?
Makes sense.
My name is Sinus Linawe. I was born on the Blessed Isle, and I have served the Immaculate Order faithfully for a little over a decade now. And I have done, in my opinion, good work to stabilize the territories, the threshold for the realm. I am empowered by... Oh, does it have a name? I'm empowered by the aspect of fire, and as you may have seen during our conversation, our first meeting, my skill sets lie in the social domain.
She could be a bit of a hothead, Dave.
He bursts out laughing as well. She shoots the dirtiest of looks in that direction.
Oh, look at her. She's getting all fired up.
I look at her and I say, it's a gift he has.
Yes, I well remember his gift.
This is my domain, the domain of domain.
That one was not quite as poignant, I must say.
Look, it doesn't come to me all the time, all right? You know, hit or miss. I take my hits where I get them. Speaking of hits, can I get another hit? Did you bring where's the bottle?
Do you think? Of course I brought it. Come on. He pulls out a satchel and it's just like full of a whole bunch of bottles.
Good man. Good man.
Do you have any questions for me specifically? Is there anything you would like to know about me?
Yeah, were you always a bitch? Or, sorry.
Hey, I look back and I'm like,
I apologize. That was uncalled for. I remember you were like not as mean or not as uptight. That's the word.
We were at odds last time we spoke at Malik.
No, I mean back on the Blessed Isle when you visited. You know, wasn't that different? What happened? Like, was there all the responsibility of serving the Immaculate Order? Is that what did you do?
Have you been traveling the threshold long?
Maybe.
The lands out
I
here.
put my hand in my face.
The lands out here are wild. Many areas are untamed, and if you let your guard down out here, people die. So yes, perhaps I am harder than I was if you knew me as a child, but that is because I am no longer a child. I have grown here. I have seen things and experienced things. I have had faiths tested. I have seen people suffer for lapses in judgment. And she shoots a dirty look at Pelipsteva. And I do not wish that to happen again. So yes, perhaps I am a bitch, but it is with purpose.
Adramalik is like immediately kind of sobered up. Very well, that was it's very fair. Of course, I don't mean to see anyone suffer or be hurt. That is not my intention either.
That is my belief from what I have seen of you all. Otherwise, we would not be having a conversation like this.
Well, you said you were empowered in fire. Is that correct?
Yes, I am born through fire.
Am I to understand that to be you are an elementalist then?
Untold dragon blood? I actually said, I'm like, untold dragon blooded.
Yes, you would absolutely know that. That all dragon-blooded are empowered by one of the 5 elements of fire, air, water, wood, and earth. That is absolute common knowledge.
Okay, I was gonna say I absolutely should know that.
You were in the Immaculate Order.
Yeah, I got it.
Just
you
making
two
sure it's spelled out.
absolutely know that. Yes.
Got it.
Yes. Do you have any other questions about my history, about what I'm capable of?
No, nothing that wouldn't seem invasive for the sake of being invasive.
Well, I'm curious what that might be.
Yeah,
But-
no, I'm curious actually. What do your powers entail? Like, you can just shoot fire, or you can like spit fire, or you can like control fire, or you can like fire someone. Like, you're not allowed to work here anymore. I mean, you probably can do that. You're in charge. I mean, you know.
Yes, there are many people that I can fire, but no, my skill, as I mentioned, does not have to do with as much the manipulation of fire. No. Passion is my area. The fires of the soul are what I focus on.
Glad I have a high integrity. All right.
Ah. You didn't happen to use these powers on us before, did you?
Of course I did.
It was a good move.
Okay, yeah, I got to give you credit for that. That was pretty bold. But that also absolves me of anything I might have said, right, while under the influence of that. So glad we're all squared away. Cool.
She does not
Everyone
respond.
agrees. Yeah.
What brought you
Adramalik
to
does
the
not say
Immaculate
anything else.
Order?
He just sort of smugly is like, "Cool, I'm scot-free," and he sort of leans back with Deva.
What brought you to the Immaculate Order?
A desire to protect the people and to preserve the realm. I had some choices, but this was the one that I felt allowed me the most opportunity to do so. Plus, I enjoy these outskirts. It's interesting to see how the people outside of the Blessed Isle live, to study their ways and to see how they've made their own unique walks through life.
That's a good reason. I was going to say that too, but now I don't want to look like I'm copying her. Deva, what should I do?
Don't worry about it, all right?
Okay,
We're not going to
okay.
remember this anyway.
That's a good point. Good point.
I believe that's all I have.
Very well.
Do you know of any other empowered individuals that you remain amicable with among the outskirts? Or would we be the first?
You're going to give me a presence, charisma presence,
Persuasion?
please.
Yeah, all right. I'm fine with that.
Ooh.
Mountain will, as he asks this question, he stays leaned back in his posture, and as he asks in almost more of a, not bemused, but almost like pre-humbled way. Like, oh, are we like the first to kind of be graced? And he kind of holds out his palm in like an open, very like his palms in like a very like open gesture, just to kind of showcase his vulnerability in that moment.
Okay. Yep, I'll give you a dot stun. And I will also remind you that part of social interaction in this game is about learning what people's intimacies are and then utilizing them as part of your arguments. When you do that, you can get them to do greater things for you or gain bonuses to your rolls. And if you conversely are being attempted to have some argument used against you and you can use an intimacy in favor of your defense, that will make it harder to convince you to do things.
Understood.
Love it. I love that as a social system. That's really cool.
So we can both protect the realm. Wink. No.
He slipped it in there. He said it. He said
No.
it.
Not
Got
at
it.
this point.
That's a 3 dot stunt.
Also, I don't care about protecting the realm. I would say protect people. I would never say the realm because that would be a falsehood.
People.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, maybe not ooh. Damn it. This always happens. 1, 2. Okay, so we have 2 10s, which is probably going to carry us. It's going to have to carry us. I pumped 3 into this. So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3 successes, 2 10s. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
By the way, I almost botched that even with that.
Jeez, man.
I had 4 1s
Oh, no.
on 5 successful dice.
Oh, God.
Tight.
Brutal.
Her face flattens slightly momentarily, as if she's starting to cut herself off here. But she shakes her head. There have been others of awakened nature that we have worked with in the past that have been deemed not a threat to the realm and whom we have worked with amicably. Yes.
Sense motive? Is that a thing
Well,
I can do?
that's
Read
great.
intentions.
Thank you.
is-
I would like to read her intentions.
That's good. I mean, I guess they can't publicize
I don't think
that,
I could see
right?
through her lies. but
Perception socialize.
I'm going to pump 3. So that's a total of marking down my expenses. 3 10s was good. All right, and that's all I got. It was the 3 10s and 1 success. So 7 again.
Nice. That was good. Good.
Okay. So you believe that she's lying about something?
No, I'm asking.
Trying
Is
to
she
get a
lying?
read on her message to see if that was
Like, is there a
playing
little
a
bit
face.
left out there? Like,
She
are you
seemed
lying about
hesitant.
that?
She seemed hesitant about sharing this at all.
Yeah, I think that's what it is the apprehension.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to
That
make sure.
they're okay with anathema.
Yes.
Because that's probably not something they want to publicize.
Yeah.
I think it also is-
You two, as members of the Immaculate Order, would know that that's a very atypical philosophy within it.
find a river god, kill it. Find
No. It is not. It is not like that. Gods
Oh,
are
gotcha.
not like gods are not anathema.
Got it. Okay.
Fae, the fair folk, demons,
Creatures of the wild,
creatures of fair folk, certain exalt types. There are many anathema out there.
Yeah.
And the fact that she specifically used those of awakened essence rather than saying anathema also says something.
True.
So she's dealt with our kind before.
Maybe.
Or at least has a different perspective.
Thank you very much. It may make the conversation easier for everyone. And I gesture at just myself and the remainder of my party.
She turns toward Adramalik. Do you have any questions for me?
No, you're cool in my book. But actually, I have a question. Would you care to have some of this? He holds out the drink.
No, thank you. Perhaps later. Perhaps when the meeting is done. Assuming we end this as we've begun.
Well, I'm certain that will be the case, so I look forward to it.
So, who would care to share from your side?
Well, we had you start. I think it's your right to choose.
Very well.
Yeah.
Then I suppose I would choose
She's going to choose me. What? She's
my
going
dear
to choose me.
cousin.
Yeah, she's definitely going to choose you.
Oh, yes. So, good. So my name is Adramalik. I hail from the Blessed Isles like you, where I was born with our family. And we all know how that sort of panned out. And I forged my own life. I left, I went to Nexus, and I found myself here on the outskirts in the wilds. As you said, it is quite an impressive place, one where I can do a lot of self-discovery and a lot of good, helping the people.
She waits expectantly.
My abilities are sort of, well, these, string, and he pulls out his daggers in a non-threatening way. He doesn't like, wah, he like holds them up as if he's like holding a piece of laundry to our audience at home, and quite adept at utilizing them. And he twirls them and slides them back into their sheaths. I also have a way with shadows, able to move in and out of them unseen, all sorts of things that would befit someone who wants to utilize these in a lethal manner. I also have a way with animals. This here is my friend. His name's Uba. Uba, go ahead and introduce yourself to the nice lady.
Uba! I'm Uba. Sing the Uba song, yeah. What the Uba song?
I want to hear the Uba song.
Uba,
Malik.
Uba,
Yes,
I am
yes.
Uba.
Yes.
Uba, do a little dance. And then he does a little dance.
Yes.
Yes, yes, that's
Christmas
grape
is
worthy. That
special.
was grape worthy. I give him some grapes. So yes, that is what I can do. I can blend in with the darkness. I can move unseen amongst crowds, and when the time is right, I can strike at those who would seek to harm others.
And your nature, you as the one that we in particular know, carries some unusual ability.
He's
Yes,
being literal about the shadows.
I can literally melt into shadows. Like I'm one with the shadows. It's just this thing I can do. Would you like a demonstration? Is that what this is? You look like you're waiting expectantly for me to prove this. So I mean, I can do it. David, you want to see something pretty cool?
You know I want to see this.
Hell yes, I do.
All right. Hold on.
As he's stretching, because I knew you were going to start stretching. I say it is not dissimilar to the creature we are hunting.
Okay.
Okay.
And Adramalik will take a step backwards, and as he does, literally into the shadows, he will use his invisible shadow spirit to assume perfect stillness and become effectively invisible instantaneously.
Okay. Is there any kind of roll that people get against that?
It just says, assuming perfect stillness, the solar fades from sight, affect true invisibility, but I can't move or take actions.
No, so you're literally invisible. Got it.
I'm literally 100% invisible, yeah.
Is
It's page 403 if there's anything
It's
else.
not a mind-affecting thing. It's not...
Just
Is there a subcategory for true invisibility as to what the parameters of that is in the book? I don't know.
I think it's
No,
like
because
camouflage, but
the book... Because the people who wrote this book tried to use natural language rather than standardized.
Sure.
So-
What's more natural than true invisibility?
Yep. No, I believe the implication is that he becomes literally invisible as
Not like
light
Predator.
passes through, so
Yeah.
there is no way to see him because there's no reaction with light. Except for, I assume, your irises that you can, or your eyes.
Yeah,
that
I
you
can
actually
still see.
Yeah.
Yeah, science, whatever.
So when you literally disappear from sight, they share some glances, in particular, Sinus Linawe and Cesis Nachalsi. Cesis Nachalsi looks, as soon as you disappear, she becomes very on edge, as if she is looking in the shadows for where you might be, as if you might be doing just what you said that you were capable of. But Linawe raises a hand.
I also am like, it's fine.
And then I step forward, and as soon as I move, I break out of the invisibility. But they, of course, didn't know that I could have been anywhere, like you said.
Of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell them, oh, you can't fucking move.
I can't move. Yeah, exactly.
Deva immediately bursts out into applause. Brilliant! Wonderful! Yes!
Thank you. Thank you so
fantastic!
much. Oh,
Stop, dial it back.
your praise,
dial it back.
it honors me. It truly does, my friend. Truly. So,
And
and anything else?
You carry some of the same nature as the thing we are hunting.
That's our belief, yes.
We don't know a lot about it, just that he interacts with shadows, and it's your friend on the cloud can attest to...
Jabnor, I believe.
Jabnor, yes.
Yes.
Jabnor can attest to the creature had quite a surplus of shadow and darkness.
That is certainly true. Yes, that place. So I suppose then you were fairly comfortable. I for one felt a very cloying presence within there. It was almost as if something was gripping my chest while I was within there. You did not feel that?
No, I mean, it was dark. I mean, I couldn't see very well. But other than that, no, I didn't really feel anything uneasy. Maybe it was because I had a little bit to drink before I went in there. But no.
It was quite suffocating. It felt as though, what is the word? To be removed from everything, not just light. It felt very removed, yes?
Yes, like it's a hard feeling to describe. It's how would you describe that? Being removed from everything. Yes, I suppose that could be it. As if the world itself was rejecting you when you were down there.
Suppose.
Nope, I felt totally fine. I was literally as I am now. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot less drunk, but yes.
Though Adra Malik has always been adept with darkness and shadows, serves his best that way.
This is true.
Perhaps a useful thing to have on our team when hunting a similar thing. A useful source of information, looking at the
Yes,
Nale.
and for myself as well. I mean, I'd like to learn more about my own nature. This creature seems like the ticket to finding out.
Linawe nods, but does not otherwise respond.
Do any of you have any other questions? Hiram says, scanning the room to the others.
Please ask away. I'm an open book.
Let's see. Do any of them have any?
That's right. Shuffle through your 5 NPCs to figure out what.
How many
angle
innocents have
they're-
you murdered? Blurts out the quiet one.
That's. I was actually just debating whether that was going to happen right now. What is? No. Good. Well, let's roll it. Let's see how her self-control is.
I mean, she still might ask questions, might ask it better. I mean, if I was going to ask questions to try and catch people, I would definitely ask it around Linawe.
Yep. The Cesis Nachalsi does stay silent. Your friend turns to you and says, "So, I have a very important question for you, and that
I have a very
is,
important answer.
where did you get Uber?"
Well, there was this place that I went when I was younger, and I'm going to, out of game, pull out a map that I have.
If you want to just like fade to black this evidently long story and save this for a future.
Yes, this will be one of my future facts. I will work. I'll figure this out for the future.
And
fact. So I
Adramalik
tell them.
spins off into a long, probably like 15-minute story of
I
how
think 15 is generous.
how he met Uba and
Yes.
such. And that will be a future event
Fun
for us to learn.
fact.
Yes. That's
Tune in
amazing.
next time.
Amazing, yes. Delightful little creature.
Oh, he is indeed. He's my dearest companion and friend.
Okay.
And I'm so happy to say that I have one more now. And he hugs Deva as he reaches the crying portion of his drunken state. It's so good. It's so good to have you. To have someone to talk to. I mean, not that Dira and Rakim don't talk to me, but they tune me out, you know? They don't want to share.
We
I'm
talked to
sorry.
him. He just says some dumb stuff at times.
See,
Yes.
like that. They don't understand. They put. I can't.
We understand too well.
We have
That's
kindred
actually
spirits.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was good to get him out of the way early. Well done.
Oh, and do I get to pick now? Do I pick
No.
who I want?
You see, I have one question for you.
Oh, okay. I could.
You've
Oh, that's-
referenced a few times that we knew each other, so I'm afraid I cannot recall ever meeting someone named Adramalik. When did we meet?
Well, it must have been a long time ago, but in my family's estate, I remember seeing you with my other cousins. It must have been for a ball or a gala of some kind. I don't know. It was so long ago.
And
On the Blessed Isle.
who was your family?
You're Sinus, yes?
Yes.
That is my family.
Mountain is actually going to put his hand on Admalik's shoulder and say, "Do not hurt yourself, my friend."
Yes. Let's go ahead and roll your essence, please.
Oh, I didn't know he
Yes,
had to now. I didn't know he was still doing that. That's why I was like, "Do not
Oh yeah,
hurt
dude.
yourself."
Hell yeah.
How do I make this roll again?
Roll your essence. Any successes that you get will potentially increase your
Your
Wait,
limit.
what do you mean? What do you mean?
Your-
Roll my essence? What number?
Your
am I rolling?
essence
So your
is
total
2,
essence-
so you're
Two.
rolling
You have
2 dice.
two
I just roll 2.
Yeah,
Yep.
because you guys
You
have
don't
not
want
spent
successes.
experience.
Oh boy.
and you want not successes, right?
If you exceed, you get
Oh!
closer to.
Oh, I want
on.
not successes. Is that what
That
you
is
said?
correct.
Okay.
Uh-oh, that's a lot.
Of my 2 dice that I rolled, I got
4 successes.
3 successes.
Can this explode?
Yeah.
Nice.
What's your limit at right now?
You have the highest right now. If he goes bananas right now, well,
This is
look
a
at it this
really
way.
bad thing.
If you go bananas right now and we fight you, we look really good. So you're kind of helping us.
So,
Thanks, man.
what is your
Thank
limit
you.
at right now?
I have 2 little X's.
All right, go ahead and mark 3 more.
Oh my god. Oh crap.
Ooh, 5 is about halfway
Oh,
through that
now
tracker.
it's-
Oh boy.
Got
Yes, it is. And his will be bad. Well, all yours would be bad, but
Sure.
I just know how to push his
Oh
button
yeah.
a lot easier.
Yeah,
In your
was-
defense, his button is huge and he walks forward with it.
That's true.
That's called dope roleplay.
You're not wrong. I do love that you do that. Just to be clear.
It's because it's one of my highest intimacies is reclaiming my birthright with my family. So it is super important to me, but also I
You're
can't
not allowed to acknowledge it.
Maybe one day you'll figure out how to fix this. Who knows? Maybe that becomes Adramalik's new goal.
Yeah.
Anyway, I suppose I'll have to think on this, and I'm sure eventually I'll be able to place your face.
I hope so.
I believe that is all from us. Looks around. Tepet Tillis is kind of standing off to the side, looking not terribly interested in what's going on. Cesis Nachalsi is obviously staring intently at anybody who does anything. And Jabnor is really just taking in all the information that gets revealed. So, who would you like to hear from next?
How about you, tall lady?
Me?
Yes, Tillis was your name? Tillis, I think, yes?
Yes, that's right. Yes, I am Tepet Tillis.
So, were you always big? I mean, obviously not always, because when you were a baby, you were small, I imagine.
Why don't you let her tell the story, Adramalik?
I'm so sorry. Yes, you have the floor. Please, backstory.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll take perception socializes from anybody who would like to.
I'll throw it. Why not? Here to throw dice.
This one I'm not going to pump.
When I couldn't pump if I wanted to. Not bad though. For me, not bad for me.
Wait, what?
3 successes.
3 successes.
I almost got
One
another
success.
3 successes.
Okay. So Tepet Tillis does not seem put out by that to anybody who got 2 or more successes. So Adramalik does not know that his little barb didn't actually get under her skin. Yes, I've been big for most of my life. It's not much to tell. I signed on to help protect people, and...
Okay, so follow-up question. How much do you have to drink to get drunk?
Please continue with your story.
I found things that I care about, and I found things that I wanted to change. And so I have come out here, and I found more things to care about, more people to protect. There's not much to tell about my life before this, though.
Very noble of you. It's very noble.
You seem to put a face forward that you're speaking shallow words, but yours have been quite prominent. What things have invoked you to follow this path? I'm aware that you wish to protect people. You said things. What are you talking about?
My village, when I was younger, was slaughtered by an anathema gone mad. A solar, if you know what those are. And so I seek to prevent that from happening in these outer villages, to stop them from further harming these people. The common folk have the right to whatever existence they choose on these outskirts, and it should not be cut short because of some rampaging beast.
Do we know we're Solars?
I believe the word solar was used by Lore at one point.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so I'm
talking about the
vaguely aware. I'm
difference
like, I
between
think I'm that.
Yes.
Okay.
Was that anathema dealt with, or did it get away?
It got away that day, and I have not seen or heard of it since, so perhaps it is still out there, perhaps some other put it down.
Well, we have to find them. I mean, we can't just let a murderer like that wander free.
I would agree.
And I travel out here now, and perhaps one day I will find...
No, perhaps one day. I'm going to personally help you find this bastard and stick my knife in his face. Or you can stick your knife in his face. You have a knife? I can give you one if you want to borrow. You use an axe? What is your weapon of choice?
I think what Adramalik is saying, and I like just like gently like pat your chest, because I know you're trying. This is you trying to be good, and I super appreciate it. You're being such a good boy. I think what he's trying to say is that if you could give us information on this creature,
we can keep a lookout.
we would be
Because
happy.
we're going one way.
People do have to answer for what they do, regardless of what powers that they may or may not have.
If anything, the more power you have, the more responsibility you carry.
And I nod because that's one of my intimacies.
We can speak more on the details of that at a later time. It's not important to the task at hand. But as far as me putting my own strike in his face, that is not my role. I am a guardian. I stand between those who would harm, and you can give me perception. Your perception socializes if you would like. In this moment,
I don't know why I'm
Sure.
even rolling them because I have 3, so it's not going to
I'm
tell me
rolling
anything.
because I like to roll dice.
I rolled a
Got a
1
1.
again.
Ooh, good for you, man. I got 5. I did good that time.
so we got a 1, a 1, and a 5.
Mhm.
Okay. Her guile's not great, but it is better than 1. So, Mountain, you see that as she says this, her eyes flicker toward Sinus Linawe. Yes. I stand between those who would harm us and us.
Is that your wife? Anyway.
Have you ever taken a life before then?
I think what a ridiculous question, but I don't say.
Not by choice, not when given other options. I am
Commendable.
not a brute.
And I apologize if my previous mention of your size indicated any such thing. I do not say such. I just, you seem more amicable and peaceful than perhaps one might expect. And it is good.
I don't like being judged for what I look like.
Nobody likes being judged.
Also, you've never seen me I don't hurt anybody, man. I'm such a talkative fellow. You've only met 2 giants in your life.
And they're both
like
peaceful,
this.
so now all of my beliefs about giants is that they're very peaceful, and I will be
Gonna be
sorely
a giant
woken up.
barbarian. It's gonna be
Once I
real
meet
angry.
those guys.
I feel like that's a stereotype that really is realistic. If you're a giant living in society, your options are be careful or just
Yeah.
destroy everything. And
Yeah.
That's it. And you actually
there's
have
not
options.
an in between. Oops,
Mhm.
I didn't mean to squish that guy, but things happen.
Mhm.
That's that.
Anyway, do you have any other questions for me?
Do you do elemental powers?
I am blessed by the spirits of Earth, yes. By the dragon of Earth, yes.
Cool.
So are you also able to mess with our emotions, make us feel more earthy? That doesn't make any sense. Nope. And he sort of looks over to Deva and he starts giggling uncontrollably.
No, that is not where my skills lie. I'm a guardian, as I said.
I presume grounded when the time comes.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Well, I'm curious for more questions concerning what brought you to this path, but I will not push any further.
Thank you.
Looks at the rest of you. Anyone else?
No,
I-
as go ahead, Rakim.
Oh no, actually, I wasn't going to talk in game, so you would be talking. But I literally I try and close myself off to the rest of the party because I'm not trying to blow up her spot. And I'm like, is that your wife?
Do you actually do that?
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Here's the thing: is I don't want I'm not trying to be oh, by the way, I have this information and stuff like that to lord over you and everything. But I know that she has a wife and stuff like that, and I've noticed a look or whatever. It doesn't seem to be that kind of a look or anything like that. Okay, then you know what?
She gives a quick nod.
Then I won't have maybe I've done it as obviously. I'll probably just point and be maybe a whatever our version of wedding ring is, and then she gives a nod. I'm like, good choice, A+.
Truly. So yeah, Azramak will just kind of say, no, in the spirit of what you said, with haste and everything, we should keep this short. We don't want to take up everyone's time. I mean, time is of the essence after all. One time, and he goes on another 15-minute long tangent.
We're not going to wait. I put my whole hand over his whole head, and I'm like, all right, this is your
right.
turn.
I'm so sorry.
She turns. Well, then perhaps you could share your story. Looking at Mountain.
Oh, sure. I was raised in the realm where we were for a time. You will forgive me ahead of time, and I will just put this out there now. I am not going to pretend to be something I am not. I am aware that you are probably only aware of Idrimalik's awakenness, especially since I downed so much of the alcohol and had no effect on me. But it would be what you consider awakened. And so for this reason, I would prefer not to mention exact houses, addresses, things that would allow you to, let's say, report back to my family and things of this nature and shame them. As I am what I am now, not by choice, but we'll call it happenstance. Or I guess by choice. I'm not quite sure how it works.
No, happenstance is totally accurate. And just how you have no more control over being large, he has no more control over being awakened.
Large, yes, exactly.
That too. He's also large. But it
Is
is
this
not
fair?
something you should
not-
be judged for. And he will
I'm
look
not-
pointedly.
I'm not trying to hide anything, but I'm obviously don't want to give away anything that may harm others. And I look to all of them like,
Yep. Lenawe nods. I understand. We don't need your entire life story. That is fine. But it is good to know as much as you can share, and in particular, who you are now. Not who you were is useful to know, but not always the most pertinent to who you are now.
who I am is who I have always been. I am someone who looks to protect those who cannot protect themselves, to be the strength of others. I am just in a position to do it more fervently now than I may have previously. But even previously to this, we were, and I look at Dirham hunting monsters as men, fearlessly charging into places that now looking back, we probably had no business charging.
Agreed.
But someone has to take care of others. So that is who I was, and that is who I am. I became, I would consider it blessed some time ago now, saving the life of another. It did not change me in any fashion, as I had been led to believe it may. I didn't gain any new ideals or ideologies or anything. It's who I was, I think, that made whatever happened. The glove had to fit, if that makes sense.
Must have been a very big glove.
Jabnor and Lenawe exchange a glance at that.
So after I awakened, as you call it, I just continued on doing what we do, which is helping those around us. Probably a bit too freely. We're pretty broke most of the time, but, you know, we get by pretty well.
Jamalik will look kind of abashedly at this comment.
Not you. You're not poor. You Dirham are dirt ass fucking poor.
Dava slaps Adramalik on the back. Don't you worry, my friend. Anything you need now, you come to me. I'm happy to help you.
He has money. He has money.
I'm not like them. Please don't confuse me with them. I mean, we're in a group, but monetarily, I'm not destitute.
And as far as what you are now, what you can do,
I can jump very high.
You should see his calves. They are. Ooh.
I would say that's actually the biggest thing that's changed is I can jump very high. Like I'm really trying to think of what all I can do that I would recognize like as Rakeem, and I'm like, I jump real fucking high now, and that's. Like,
the
what
fact
else
that you
do
have
I
a
do?
bloodhound nose?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to tell him I can do that. I'm not like gonna be like, also I can smell real fucking good. Like I'm not trying to fucking give away all my secrets here, as I'm sure they're not. I've empowered physical abilities, senses, but really, again, I was able to do most of what I did previously. Like I'm really thinking back. Like I pushed a pillar on a dude. Like I knocked down a whole ancient pillar on a guy before I ascended.
That was pre-power, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, not a lot changed.
Shift of the mountain.
Yeah, I'm faster. I find myself able to empower abilities that I had already long had better. Like I said, it feels more like a glove. Nothing changed when I awakened. I gained, don't get me wrong, I gained the abilities to jump, to empower myself. I did notice that I gained, I already had a good tactical mind, but like my tactical mind definitely increased. So I guess there were some things like that happened, but otherwise it was, I've never thought about this hard. I apologize.
Adramalik turns
you
to
are the
Dava.
tactician of the group. That's unexpected.
As soon as she says that, yeah, Adramalik turns to Dava and he says, he got a lot smarter after he hung out with me. Okay, let's just get that straight.
Oh, I understand. I know fully well what you mean.
I've always been good with people. I don't feel that my powers affect it at all. So yeah, I do think that there is this, that when we wake up, we only wake up if we fit what's waking us up. I haven't had any feats. I haven't had any inclinations, any urges, as I have been told I may have. It's been pretty smooth sailing. And that's actually true, because my intimacy has never been, like, badly affected.
Very well. I don't believe I have any questions for you then at this point.
Yeah.
She looks at the others. Very well. And who would you like to hear from next?
I point at the quiet one that definitely wants to kill us.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call.
Actually, I point at her, and I instead of giving her the floor, I say, "If you have a question, now is the time to ask. I will not take offense to what you have to say, but I think you want to say something."
She looks at you. You say that it fits you like a glove, that you were born into this soul. What were you born into? How much death did you cause before you were given this? And how much have you caused since?
This is a fair question. Before, we killed a monster, so I guess one. I don't think I've ever killed anybody before that. We may have, though, because we traveled with, I'm going back in my mind. I'm like, we traveled with Pluton, so, I don't know if we
That was your first foray, first mission.
Well, either way, the answer is
success.
Yes, I had taken a life, if that is your question, in defense of myself or others. And I have stuck to that. I've never taken a life outside of those parameters, whether it's to save others or myself. And I've certainly spared many that I didn't need to, simply because there's not always a reason for violence. And my fellows can attest that I take every precaution I can to avoid violence.
This is very true. Indeed, he is no different than your friend Tepetilis, at least in terms of his beliefs.
And if, she points at Adramalik, this man, who is apparently empowered in the similar nature to that which we hunt, were to become a threat, would you hesitate to put him down?
No.
Yeah. Okay, man, he did that so quick. And I say, I also say no, but I do not think that death is always the answer.
I would knock him out really quick, like. I mean, I wouldn't kill him. I know who he is. I know who he is as a person.
I said, I motion to him and say, that is my answer. It is more likely I would attempt to subdue and see if it is something that can be rectified.
Yes, rectified. And Adramalik will look pointedly at Dirham without hesitation, saying he would kill him. And now he kind of has a
stares
hollow
back
look. Yeah,
in
as
a very
he makes eye
cold
contact.
way.
Adramalik's eyes kind of become hollow as he's like, oh shit, he would kill me too.
I absolutely, though, pat you on the shoulder, though, Adramalik.
Well, I hope that your commitment to that course, looking at Mountain, doesn't lead to the deaths of others because you failed to take decisive action. She falls silent.
In fairness, anyone who has power can hurt others. One of your fellows could be careless with what they do and explode a building, ruin a foundation. We're all accountable to each other. And that is why I think it is important that we surround ourselves with others who are capable of keeping us accountable. Otherwise, we will fall into there's the potential we can fall into a mindset where we are better or greater than. It's always important to remind each other and ourselves that we are different than those around us. They are just as deserving of what we have, if not more so than what we have.
Said.
No.
There's, I guess, an awkward silence before Lenawe wrapped up. So, who would you like to hear from next?
I point at the quiet lady again.
Adramalik gives him a little clap.
Hiram follows up and says, I believe the purpose here has been dodged. And personally speaking,
No, I did want to hear about us, but sorry, continue.
I would like to hear her full story, as everyone thus far has been fairly forthright, instead of cutting barbs.
No, I actually said I want you to ask me.
Okay.
I did direct her to question me, but now I want to hear about her.
Agreed.
I did invite those barbs, and
That's
I say,
fine.
and I do smile at her and nod. Like it's fine.
But we're not moving on yet.
She does not return your smile.
I know.
Yep.
She's the Dirham of the group.
No.
I think she's their Beyblade.
Oh, you don't think Dave is their Beyblade? Oh,
Nope.
shoot.
I have seen what destruction can be wrought by these creatures, by the anathema. And she looks at Tepet. And where others simply choose to be a wall for them to batter themselves against, I choose to strike them where they stand, to remove the threat swiftly and early. I don't take pleasure in the killing, if that's what you think, but one death can prevent thousands, so I have no shame in doing so.
I think if there wasn't some shame, you wouldn't have proceeded with what you did. I think we all know that there's a bit of shame in killing, period.
Honestly, if you don't have shame, you do like it.
He would know.
This is true. I do not acknowledge this if you whisper that as Rakeem, but he does not acknowledge.
Whether I feel shame, whether I enjoy it, does not truly matter. I am a tool to protect the people. I am a tool to remove the threats swiftly before they can hurt anyone else.
She's got that right. She's a bit of a tool.
I completely ignore that.
Linawe speaks up. Please forgive her bluntness. She does not often choose to share about herself, so it is perhaps with good reason that she does.
No, I totally understand it, and I respect. I mean, if people are going to harm those that are innocent, you should kill them. I'm on the same page as you, honestly.
What is...
You could give me a read intentions after that statement, if you would like.
Because that's 100% Adjamalik's motif.
His mantra.
You and I aren't so different. Oh, fuck, I'm like this guy?
Yeah, no, if they are going to hurt innocent people, you should 100% kill them. What's the read intentions again?
That's the perception socialize.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Can I, as I do this, I actually pull away from Deva, and I straighten myself so that, our eyes connect. And I say this plainly and simply, with no all of my previous comments have been laced with some sort of jab or some irony or some snide comments, as well as some sort of slurring, of course, because of the drinking. But this again, in a very moment of soberness, her conviction and her absolute belief that death to the people who would hurt others is the only solution and the first solution. He's totally on board with that. Do I get a bit of a stuntage for that?
Yes, you can have a dot stunt.
All right, let's come on, give me something, baby.
Let's see it. Come on. Big numbers.
Baby.
I feel like that is big numbers.
It is big numbers. And she might not have a good guile. I have a bad guile.
She's a better guile than that. She shoots a look in that direction, but it's hard to penetrate her standoffish glare.
Steely. Just like her daggers that she has. She's their Beyblade. You're totally right, Rich. She's their Beyblade.
I think she's a magic Beyblade. I think she's just their DPS. That's what I think. And I look at Linawe. There is no... I asked for this understanding. I think we, as you know from the previous meeting here, I am not a stranger to social intelligence. I did not expect kind words or anything of the like. But I do look back at her. What led you to have this outlook? Unless you don't want to say. This is also fine if that's too personal.
She looks at Linawe. Linawe gives her an almost pleading, please just answer the question look. She gives a sigh. What led me to this is my entire life. This is what I was born for. This is what I've been trained for since birth. This is not a path I chose. This is a path I was born into and have stayed true to despite, and she gives a strong look back at Linawe, difficulties.
It's your destiny.
You might call it that.
It's your dog.
Adramalik again has this kindred look with her as he nods his head.
This is not a good sign for you, lady.
And after hearing this, he'll say, "Did you tell us your name, my lady?"
Cesis Nachalsi.
Very pleased to make your acquaintance.
Cesis is a house, yes.
Is that the house?
So she is not Sinus.
No.
She's Cesis.
That is correct.
Thank you.
These names you come up with, George.
Yes.
These names you come up with, George. They never ceases to amaze me.
Kick him.
Strike him down. Make him make an essence roll.
Deva stumbles a little bit and bumps into Adramalik, knocks Uba from the shoulder, and no.
I killed him.
Falls on his head.
The monkey immediately forgets its "I'm Uba" song and dance.
Oh, you robbed all of us. That's not a Greg thing.
Thank you so much for taking the time to enjoy our show. Come back next week for the next part of our adventure, or join our Patreon for early access to the next episode, as well as a Patreon exclusive campaign of Rippers. Join our wonderful patrons Bubble Dirt and Nova Phoenix in supporting this show. And of course, don't forget to check out our tutorials and video plays on YouTube at The RPG Blender. If you want to stay up to date on our releases, you can join our Discord. Check the description for a link. Don't have Discord? No worries, find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at RPG Blender, or subscribe on your podcast app of choice. Music is The Punk Rock Show by My Free Mickey. Copyright 2012, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution License. Thank you again, and remember, there's gaming outside the Forgotten Realms.